Yes! Yes!
Yes.
Wait, I didn't mean to click that, but yes, Corsola also said yes. What's good, guys? Good Guy Ghastly here with a new correct Pokemon Unite tier list involving the new balance changes and the buffs, the debuffs, that everything we've seen so far, and where I think the Pokemon stand. As you might know, I've been streaming this a lot on twitch.tv/goodguyghastly, been playing with viewers. If you are also a vet, an ultra, or hey, even a master, hit me up. I need to get carried. Seriously, I need help. Also, if this is your first time checking out the channel, please be a good guy. Click that like button. Subscribe if you enjoy Pokemon Unite content and just general parody, funny Pokemon stuff. I do a little bit of everything. Also, tell me what your thoughts are down below. These are opinions. Everyone's got them. You have them too. So go ahead and put them in the comments and tell me what you think. Just try to be a good guy about it. You don't need to be mean. Jeez. God. Oh. Wow. People are really mean. I'm going to go ahead and compare this tier list to the last tier list because definitely some Pokemon have changed. I've been really surprised by how good this balance patch was. And I've even changed the tier list around just a bit because I don't think any Pokemon is really bad. That's why I love this game. If you are a decent player, if you know how the meta works, if you are rotating bot to fight Dreadnought and understanding how important some of these objectives are, every Pokemon is actually pretty good. There's no D, there's no F tier Pokemon. I think at the minimum is a C. So let's get started with the Pokemon that I've been climbing ranked with, which is Snorlax. I am going to put him in A+. He might be an S because I do think Snorlax kind of fits in the majority of teams. I don't think any other tank is as good as Snorlax or fits with as many Pokemon as Snorlax. But for me, Snorlax has just been a game changer. As soon as I started learning how to use his wall, learning how to stun lock people, learning how to keep people distracted, just learning kind of where your place in the fight is as Snorlax, you are a game changer. I highly recommend that if you're trying to climb ladder, you play some kind of tank, you play some kind of jungler, or you play something that's like Snorlax is usually top lane, and top lane's nice because that means you can reliably rotate down to Dreadnought when you have to do Dreadnought. You can rely on yourself. You can go to Dreadnought. You can do it. I just feel useful all the time. I feel like I'm always doing something. If you learn those walls, you can pick up kills for your entire team. And it is just, I don't know, there's some kind of weird serotonin thrill I get out of putting people into walls and stun locking them. It is exhilarating. So gonna put Snorlax in A+, pretty easy. So as I said in my last video, I think Cramorant is a little bit slept on, and as I got higher and higher in the tiers, I realized that when it comes to range DPS, Cramorant is one of the best, along with Cinderace, of course. But Cramorant just has so much damage potential, has so much poke ability, and then also your ultimate with Buddy Barrier, you are giving someone a shield plus yourself a shield, and you just turret and you kill everybody. If anyone is unlucky to be within that circle of your ultimate, you are going to melt them, and that just feels really good. So definitely going to put Cramorant in A+. I don't think he needs to move anywhere else, and we're going to keep him there. So let me get this out of the way. Alolan Ninetales, in my opinion, is S. I think you can run any combination of other Pokemon, and Ninetales is going to fit within that party. Just being able to slow, just being able to have as many stuns as she has. She's got great DPS. She's got great wall potential if you are going with those moves. I prefer Aurora Veil still, but I definitely have seen some people use the other moves to really high efficiency. So all around, I think Ninetales, I'm actually kind of surprised she didn't get touched in the balance patch at all. So yeah, use her while you can, because I think Ninetales, even if you're like a bad player, even if you don't even know how to play this game, Ninetales, you can be carried as Ninetales because you are just providing support. You're slowing enemies down, you're freezing, you're stunning. Yeah, you're just beautiful. So thank you all Ninetales mains. You are amazing. I love you so much. Let's move on to kind of a surprise one, which is Talonflame. I put Talonflame really far down in my last tier list. I put him in D. I honestly believe now Talonflame's at least A. And the reason why is because Talonflame got a huge buff in the last patch. A lot of its attacks went up, and yeah, he just does way more damage now. So definitely pick up Talonflame if you like to dive bomb people. The thing about Talonflame that does suck, at least from my experience, is that he's very get in, get out. You cannot sustain in a team fight. You have to nuke something and then leave. So you're really just good at letting your team whittle them down, and then Talonflame dive bombs in, picks them all off, you push and you win. Really, really big damage there. Really enjoying seeing Talonflame's just do better. The next Pokemon we're going to talk about is Cinderace, who did get some nerfs, but I still believe is in the A+ tier at least, because Cinderace still does a ton of damage. Her Feint got nerfed, so now it's only a second instead of 1.5. And some of her damage did go down, but her Pyro Ball did go up. So if you want to do more poke damage, you can definitely do that with Cinderace. I still think Blaze Kick is better just because I like the guaranteed hit / crit, especially that scales with things like Scope Lens, the held item. So Cinderace still top tier DPS along with Cramorant. I think they belong in most teams. I think Cinderace is a threat. Every single time I see another Cinderace on the other team, if they're really good, I'm really scared. And that's just how it goes. So definitely going to put in an A+. I firmly believe that is where she belongs. So let's go to something below A, and that is going to be the B tier. And I think that the first person that goes into B tier is Pikachu. I really thought Pikachu was really good earlier, and that's because the damage he does is crazy. But as people have understood the cooldowns that Pikachu is dealing with, they've figured out how squishy he is. If Pikachu does not have the right support, if you don't have any tanks, if you're just all DPS, Pikachu falls behind really hard. Also, I think Crustle is a super, Crustle Eldergoss is a super hard counter against Pikachu. Whenever I play Pikachu, if they have a Crustle, I just know that I can't do anything. So if your team is running into a lot of Pikachus while you're ranking up, maybe consider swapping a tank to Crustle, because Crustle, I'm gonna put him an A+. He does so much damage. He just can get around the map. He can X Scissor. If you understand your abilities, like there's some cheeky plays you can do with his walls and X Scissor. There's so many good ideas that Crustle players can use if they're crafty, and I think he's definitely a top tier character. He's a little more difficult to play, I think, because he does take some thought. You know a bad Crustle when they keep walling in your own team or stopping you from getting kills, or I think it's so funny when Crustles are with a Talonflame and then Crustle walls their own Talonflame. That happens. So definitely get good with him, but he's so good. I think Crustle is even scoring. I mean, you can be around the entire map. Oh, they're all bot lane. They're kicking your team's butt. Go top lane, goal getter, whatever. Put it in. You're Crustle. You can be anywhere at any time, and you are a threat. I may be completely wrong on this. You can tell me. I think Garchomp goes in C tier. I still have not seen Garchomps be really effective. It takes so much work to get into the middle of the team fight, to get your attack speed up. And in that time, usually people are able to kite you and range you down, especially with the prevalence of Cinderace and Cramorants. It's just so easy to pick off the Garchomp before he's really effective. So maybe with the proper support, if you got some Eldergoss, if you have one other tank, or maybe even Wigglytuff, because Wigglytuff can get rid of CC, so definitely needs the support. But right now, I think Garchomp's in C. I think he's bulky, but I don't think he's bulky enough. I love his damage. His damage is huge, but the ability and talented players, people who are higher ranked, they will just kite you. There's nothing you can do. So in my opinion, Garchomp is gonna stay in C. Speaking of Wigglytuff, holy crap, Wigglytuff's, there's a new era of support. I'm an Eldergoss player as well. I really enjoy Wigglytuff. Now, she was always bulky, but now in the patch, she's even bulkier. Her sleep lasts longer. Her ultimate is so good. It gets rid of hindrances. It gets rid of CCs. You can't be CC'd after she uses it. And yes, and the problem before is that Wigglytuff kind of dropped off late game. Your double slap didn't do any damage. Your Sing was still effective, but you weren't tanky enough to really take advantage of it. Now, completely changed the field. With the two buffs they gave her, she is a dominating force. I'm really hesitant. I want to put her in A+, but I'm going to put her in A for now. And what's unfortunate is I kind of want to move Eldergoss down, because even though some other Pokemon got their damage nerfed, including things like Gengar, I still think Eldergoss, that the nerfs on her heals and the increased cooldown on her shield is making me not want to play her as much. She's still effective, especially if you have a Crustle on your team, especially if you have a Talonflame. Being an Eldergoss, I love seeing Talonflames. I love seeing Crustles. Talonflame, you get to let them stay in the fight longer and do more damage. I actually do like Garchomp and Eldergoss too, because that's the only time I can really see Garchomp staying in the fight. He gets to stay in the fight. He gets heals. He gets a speed buff from my Tornado. I've been getting Leaf Tornado a lot. I only take Pollen Puff if I have two tanks on the team. Otherwise, so that we can sustain. Otherwise, if you're attacking, I think Leaf Tornado is great because you're giving your whole team that ability to chase down other people or maybe even escape. So Eldergoss mains, I don't know. I feel so bad because I want to put it back in A. I still think it belongs in a lot of teams, but I also feel like, I don't know. I think Wigglytuff is maybe going to take the spot for support. I don't ever want to really see Wigglytuff and Eldergoss. I don't think the damage is there for endgame. So take that with a grain of salt, of course. But yeah, just know that I'm very in between with that. Let's talk about Gardevoir. Gardevoir I had in A. I think I'm going to put Gardevoir in A again because she does so much damage. She does so much damage, but she is so squishy. Her early game is so slow. If you do not play Gardevoir safe in the beginning of the game, you're going to just feed. It's going to take forever for you to become a Curlia and get that updated move, that Future Sight, or the Psyshock. Once you hit ulti though, once you get that ulti, you hit the Gardevoir, holy crap. Whole teams better watch out because you are going to nuke them down. And it only takes one misstep on the other team for them to lose that last team fight and for you to take Zapdos. So Gardevoir has a really good place in the game, but I just don't think people have the situational awareness, like / map awareness, positioning like instincts, or even aim. Sometimes I feel like her aim, like she's not forgiving. Gardevoir is not forgiving. If you miss those attacks, you're on cooldown. You're a sitting duck. I mean, you can't really do much. So Gardevoir is going to stay in A, but I do think she has a really good place, especially with Gengar. I've seen Gengar, Gardevoir, DPS cores do a lot of work because what's happening is Gardevoir is lowering special defense with her basic attack, and that is just letting Gengar have fun with them because of Hex and Sludge Bomb, which by the way is not really that nerfed. I mean, it's not bad at all, to be honest. Like, it's not enough. The invulnerability is going to help. Now you can kind of try to counter Gengar, but the damage buff or damage nerf was not enough to really hurt Gengar. In fact, they raised the Shadow Ball damage. They raised how fast the Dream Eater activates, apparently. Those moves are both still completely worthless in my opinion. Do not go Shadow Ball Dream Eater on Gengar. I have not seen anyone do well with it. I've tried it out myself. I've even been on a team where I had been fed. Like, I did really good early game and fell off so hard because Shadow Ball and Dream Eater you cannot, especially if they're tanky, you just don't have the damage. Shadow Ball only hits the first target. If Shadow Ball went through the whole team, it might be really good. If Shadow Ball hit the entire team and gave the entire team a special defense debuff, it might be good. But as it stands right now, hitting the first target, it has a pretty decent cooldown. You gotta wait. You just don't have the damage, and you can't get into a fight. You know, you can't melee really as Gengar unless you're like 1v1. So yeah, it's just not worth it. He's definitely an A. I'm not afraid of him anymore, is what I'm trying to say. I think there's a lot of outplay abilities. He's very predictable at this point, especially in higher tier play. He's just so predictable. Everyone knows exactly what you're going to do. It's very easy to time your dashes, time your flashes, and just kind of focus him down and get him out of the way. So especially as a Snorlax, I really just love jumping on Gengars and putting them in walls and making it so they can't do anything. It's really fun. And yeah, poor Gengars, right? Moving on to another Pokemon who I believe is an S tier, and that is going to be Lucario. Lucario's really good. If you're a good Lucario, like that's what I'm assuming when I make this tier list, is that you are like super good at Lucario. You're one of these people I've seen in Ultra or in Vet. Like, you are such an asset to your team. You can last hit things. You can steal Dreadnought. You are basically just such a threat to the enemy back line with that power-up punch. Your mobility is amazing if you need to get across the map and sink some points in. I think Lucario in the right hands is one of the biggest threats in the game, especially early game. I mean, if you're an aggressive Lucario Eldergoss, Lucario Cinderace, Lucario Snorlax, Lucario Wigglytuff even would be really scary. Lucario's Ninetales, right there. That's a pretty offensive combo, right? Like the slows, the power-up punches, bot lane is kind of screwed. So Lucario players, what up? I want to find if you're good at Lucario, hit me up. We gotta play because Lucarios are nuts. Moving on to Greninja, who I had also was kind of in between putting him in B or A. I really do believe Greninja is in A. He's very effective. He just does really, again, he's the only Pokemon who does percentage damage, which is huge against tanks, right? I can't tell you how many times as Snorlax I have been so sad to go up against a Greninja because I know he's going to chunk me with those melee hits, and I don't have the damage to fight back usually. So most of the time I have to just get away or run to my team, and Greninjas can be game changing with that Surf. I still think Surf is better than Water Shuriken, but that is to each their own. Either way, Greninja all the way around is really good. Oh, and I can't even forget his smoke screen. His smoke screen is so strong. I mean, being able to blind someone, it has saved himself, it has saved his team. It is in the last few seconds of a game made it so I couldn't find the goal, and like we lost that. So smoke screen is very effective in the right hands with Greninja. So I'm gonna put him in A. He could maybe be A plus if we keep seeing him, if we keep seeing like a pretty strong tank meta, but I'm not really sure about that just yet. Venusaur got buffed with a decrease in his cooldown. It's only by like a second. His solar beam has been decreased, but with some cooldown reduction items like Shell Bell and maybe an energy amplifier, whatever you're trying to do, you can get that cooldown of solar beam down to like 7 seconds, 7-8 seconds. So it is really fun to just run around and shoot things with your solar beam. You steal Dreadnoughts, you steal Zapdoses, you snipe enemies who are running away. I really like to save my allies with it. That's like one of my favorite uses of it. Like, oh, my friend's about to die, they're doing a 1v1. I come in and ruin that 1v1 and shoot from across the map some solar beams. His ultimate also got buffed in damage. His sludge bomb got more damage as well. It's just all very much more effective. I think if I were to climb again, to be honest, I might try climbing as Venusaur just to see how it goes. Because I do think in the right hands, Venusaur can be good. His other two moves, they did get buffed a little bit, but I just don't think they're very good. So I'm not going to worry about those right now, but maybe someone will figure out some tanky Venusaur builds that we all want to enjoy. That all being said, I do think he's in a kind of a B plus. I'm honestly, I love him so much, but I feel like he does belong in B. Yeah, probably B, because I definitely like Eldergoss and Pikachu more than him. He's good, but I still think all these other Pokemon above him are much better choices. Moving on to another jungler who also got a bit of a buff / nerf, and that is Zeraora. If you guys haven't checked it out, you want to check out my Zeraora main Be Like video with my exclusive interview with Kimbo. You gotta check it out. But yeah, Zeraora is still very strong. His ulti got nerfed, and his wild charge got buffed, but his other two moves didn't get touched at all, and they're both very, very good still. Discharge and the Volt Switch. So honestly, it's hard to say, but I think that he really, really heavily belongs in A. I love seeing Zeraora junglers. His ultimate, even with the damage, the nerf is like so strong still. You can still take out entire teams just by clicking one button. So very effective if you are good with Zeraora. I think he's an asset on any team he's on. And also, he's just a good ganker. Love him. Let's go into another jungler who I know I'm going to get some heat for this. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. I think Absol is B+. That's just my opinion. I think Absol is a win more champion or a win more Pokemon. If the enemy team is losing, it's very hard for Absol to come back and save that team. Whereas I feel like Zeraora can save that team. It can save those team fights. Absol is very much dedicated to hitting things in the back, to getting those crits, to singling out an opponent. So you're basically taking advantage of people who are out of position. You're taking advantage of people who are running away. And when you get to higher level tiers of play, I do not think that happens. A lot of times people are together. Teams are helping each other out. They're kind of doing the buddy system. That's where Absol is going to fail. If your team's already winning, Absol is going to help you just win more. You're probably going to make them surrender. But I just don't think Absol is ever going to carry a team by herself. And that is what is sad, because yeah, if the other team is sticking together and you're Absol, it's very hard for you to get in and get those kills, and then to get out even, because you're so squishy. I'm sorry. Don't hate me, please. Jesus. Let's look at Slowbro. Last time I put Slowbro in the B tier. I still think Slowbro is kind of in the B tier. Only because I think Crustle and Snorlax, when it comes to tanks, are much more effective. I do think Slowbro is good in combo with Crustle or another tank, right? So I think Slowbro Snorlax is maybe decent, but I think Slowbro Crustle, that's the move. Like if you want to go Eldergoss, Slowbro, Crustle, and then 2 other DPS. Like, that's a really strong core right there. Like, that's going to be really annoying for your opponent to deal with. And Slowbro is going to be able to just lock down an enemy, have your 2 DPS mess them up, and you're going to have tons of just like point management with Crustle, being able to run around the map, put in things, and you're always going to have Slowbro there to just block the way and use Surf. And Surf is so strong. So definitely B tier, but he's not because he's bad, just because in comparison to everything else, I think he's in B. That's all. Don't hate me. Mr. Mime with the filter ability. Mr. Mime is kind of a tank sometimes. He doesn't die. I love Mr. Mime. However, I do think he is another maybe another B character. I think Wigglytuff outclasses him a lot. He does have ability to stun. He's got a great early game, right? You put up those walls, you use confusion. He's also, once he gets his leveled up abilities, if you don't go walls, if you go the other one, I can't remember the top of my head, you go with the other ability, not the walls, then yeah, you're giving a lot of support. You're stunning like whole teams. It's really hard to say. I think maybe I put him down in B because I've not run into anyone who's like god tier Mr. Mime. If you guys know someone who's god tier Mr. Mime, please let me know. I want to go watch their videos, because most of my Mr. Mimes, they mess up their walls, or they're not really, they kind of fall off late game, right? They just don't do enough damage or offer enough support for us to win the game. So I feel like Mr. Mime is going to be low because of that. But if you do really good early game, sometimes Mr. Mime is enough of a threat that it's over, right? Like Mr. Mime is going to be able to just be annoying and ruin your whole team. I still think he's outclassed by Wigglytuff though. Champ is going to go into A. He hasn't not been touched with the buffs or nerfs, but I have seen very good Machamps in higher tier play, and they are scary. It takes a lot of positioning. It takes a lot of knowledge about the other Pokemon, right? You have to understand their cooldowns a little bit, burning flashes, right? Being able to just kind of itemize things in your head is going to make you a better Machamp player, because you're going to know when it is the best time to charge in and submission someone back into your team. I've seen Machamp completely wreck entire teams with just his ultimate, and yeah, with the right support, I think he's really strong. I think he's a very strong pick with Crustle. I think he's a very strong pick with Snorlax, obviously, because Snorlax is putting him into walls. I think he's very strong with Eldergoss and even Wigglytuff, because they're like, Eldergoss is giving him shield so he can stay in the fight longer and just dish out damage, and Wigglytuff is making it so that she's putting things to sleep, and she's also getting rid of his CC with her ultimate, and that is what Machamps want to have. They don't want to be CC. They don't want to be tied down. The same reason that Garchomp is good with Wigglytuff. So very impressive with Machamps lately. Last time I put him in C, so A+, or A is not a bad spot for him. Charizard got buffed with a lot of stuff. He, like, across the board, he got more damage, he got cooldown reductions, but in my opinion, he still falls a little short. I still think that he like does damage, but and he can chase things down. His ultimate is strong, but again, the only time I've ever had a Charizard be really a threat is when they jungle. I don't think I've ever seen a Charizard at bot lane end up becoming the game-winning character. So for me, Charizard is in lower tier B. I could be really wrong about this. I could see some crazy Charizards later. I could say he's in B+ here and there, because if you have a competent team, like as an Eldergoss player, I really like supporting Charizards because I know I can potentially give them their best life. I can say, hey man, you can go in, you can do as much damage as you want, use that Flare Blitz, use that Fire Punch, breathe fire, and I'm going to give you a shield and some movement speed on the way. And that is when Charizard shines, is when he has the right support. But just by himself in lane, by the time you get to end game, I feel like his damage is good, but it kind of falls off a little bit. Like, you're not doing as much damage as the Greninja or the Zera or the Machamp or the Gardevoir, the Gengar, the Cinderace, the Cramorant. Like, you know, you're just kind of like there, and you're offering a lot of like, I love your ultimate. Your ultimate's great. You're chasing people down. But yeah, I don't know, man. Charizard, I don't know what needs to be done to fix him. I don't know if it needs to be more damage, or maybe a more, like, just a little bit tankier, just a tiny bit. I don't know what the answer is, but he just feels a little lackluster to me compared to everybody else. So we have a few Pokemon that are coming out as well, which I don't know about Clefable, but we do have Blastoise, we do have Blissey. Blissey recently had a data mine where we got to see some abilities. If this data mine is true, holy crap, Blissey is going to be the best healer in the game. I don't even know what's going to happen to Eldergoss, to be honest. I feel like Eldergoss is going to go all the way down to like F tier based on no one just wanting to play her. Blissey is going to be really nice. I would even say Blissey is going to be A+/S tier because she's just going to be such a good support that any team is going to be really lucky to have a good Blissey on them with them. So definitely A+ for Blissey. That's my prediction. Blastoise, I'm not really sure. I heard that in the beta he was really bad. I haven't really researched him too much, but yeah, Blissey's gonna be A+ probably. So that's gonna be the end of the tier list, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. These are just my opinions. Again, I would love to hear why you don't like those opinions or what your thoughts are on this tier list. Please like the video if you like it, and even if you don't like it, still be a good guy, like the video, eh? Like, why? Also, thank you to everyone who's been streaming with me, like playing the game with me while I stream. It's been so fun. And let's be honest, again, you guys are just carrying me. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even good at this game. I'm watching Talonflames nuke things, and I'm over here as a Snorlax, like, well, I guess I'll just put this guy on a wall. So yeah, until the next one, thank you for watching. I appreciate the support. Bye.